The New England Patriots have added some athleticism to their depth chart at quarterback for 2023. But does it change their plans at the position? Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Don't forget, Locked On Patriots is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So subscribe to or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate, and I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So please reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on Twitter at MDABATENFL. And while you're out there wading through the Twitterverse, please be sure to follow the Locked On Patriots account as well at LO_Patriots. Pats fans, especially all of you everydayers of Locked On Patriots out there, thank you once again for taking time out to make Locked On Patriots a daily part of your Pats coverage. It is Throwback Thursday here, and we're going to be taking a retrospective look at the Patriots 2022 draft class in just a moment. As an added bonus, the legendary Green King of Sting, Thomas Murphy of E2G Sports, going to join me for the trip through time. So stick around, folks. You're not going to want to miss this. But first things first, Pats fans, your New England Patriots have secured the services of a former Baltimore Ravens quarterback. Now, relax, folks. Now, settle down. Not that one. Lamar Jackson, still very much a Baltimore Raven, at least for the time being. But the quarterback depth chart has returned to 3 for your New England Patriots. The organization signing free agent Trace McSorley on Thursday, confirmed by the NFL's transaction wire. And the 27-year-old is coming into a Patriots room where now he joins Mac Jones and Bailey Zappe. Had been recruited to Penn State. And if that sounds a little interesting, it's because when he was recruited by new Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien, who was the head coach at the Penn State Nittany Lions at the time. Now, much like tight end Mike Gesicki, didn't get a chance to play for Bill O'Brien. Redshirted as a freshman under new Nittany Lions coach James Franklin, and saw the field for 6 games in 2015. He would go on to post a 31-9 record as the starter from there, 77 passing touchdowns, 30 rushing touchdowns, and he ran for 1,697 yards during his time at Penn State. So a lot of athleticism, a lot of mileage on the ground when it comes to Trace McSorley. McSorley entered the league with the Baltimore Ravens. He was a 6th-round draft pick in 2019, signed off the practice squad by the Arizona Cardinals in 2021. He was then promoted to the active roster again early in 2022. So somewhat battle-tested, backed up one of the more prolific quarterbacks in the league when it comes to Lamar Jackson during his time in Baltimore. So there is some pedigree there, folks. And he's played 9 career games in the NFL. Starting with the debut his last season, he completed 48 to 93 passes, 502 yards, 1 touchdown, to 5 interceptions. But on the ground, showing that he can get the job done, scramble for 79 yards over the course of 27 carries. Good size, 6 foot even, 202 pounds. He's looking like someone that can come in, add some depth, add some veteran leadership to this quarterback room. Right now, you're looking at Mac Jones slotted in as the number 1, Bailey Zappe right now as your backup, and Trace McSorley coming in at the 3rd option. And all in all, folks, this one, to me, shapes up as a pure depth addition. The Patriots typically carry 3 quarterbacks during this time of the year, especially in the offseason through training camp. It's customary. They carried 3 last season into the regular season, so that is something to keep an eye on, although they did so only until Brian Hoyer was placed on season-ending injured reserve. In my assessment, this changes nothing about the Patriots' plans at quarterback. Some may be looking to read a little extra into the tea leaves here. This is not one of the signings that's going to move the needle. I still think Mac gets the job at least to start the season. Bailey could be the choice. There is a definite argument to be made. So for all of you Bailey Zappe fans out there, I still think there is a shot he wins the starting job if Mac falters in training camp. But this doesn't mean that the Patriots are going to make a move and drop one of their top two options. I don't see McSorley coming in as a precursor to Mac being traded or to them looking to unload Bailey. No, that's not going to happen. I don't think either one of those is going to happen. But what it does mean is that the Patriots no longer have to take a quarterback in the upcoming 2023 NFL draft. Prior to Trace McSorley signing, I would have said that it seemed like they had to do something. The Patriots may indeed still do that, folks. I'm not saying that they won't take a quarterback, but I don't think it's a need anymore. They have a third arm now. And with Trace McSorley, you're going to get some added athleticism. I would definitely not discount his chances of making the team as a third quarterback out of training camp and to start the regular season. He has the chance to take and make the team, I should say, if the Patriots carry three quarterbacks. But that's a big if. The Patriots may look at the roster and say, you know what, 53 guys, we need that roster space somewhere else. But thanks to drafting Bailey Zappe in the 4th round, 2022, Patriots could get away with carrying only two quarterbacks. And it's safe to say that Bailey was a pretty good pick in 2022. But who else stood out in this draft? Who still has something to prove? Well, brace yourself for temporal displacement because Thomas Murph Murphy and I are going to hop into our Belichickian time machine out of a DeLorean, and we're going to head back to 2022. We're going to reevaluate last year's draft class when Throwback Thursday here on Locked On Patriots continues. But first, folks, if you're like me and you want to make a healthier snack choice, but you don't want to compromise on taste, well, then I've got just the thing for you. Built Bars, Built Puffs. Built products are healthy and they taste amazing. Seriously, folks, they taste so amazing. You're not going to think they are good for you, but trust me, they are. You gotta try this. What makes Built Bars so good? Well, for starters, they're all covered in 100% real dark chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. What a concept, right, folks? The folks over at Built understand it, and they do it. And they come in unbelievably delicious flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and cookies and cream. I'm not sure how Built does this, but these bars taste like a candy bar. They maintain amazing macros. And what's even better is that they're healthy. Only 130 calories on average, 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't even need to wait to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering Built Bars at Built.com, but now you can get them at your local Walmart or your local Sam's Club, while you can still get your specialty flavors at Built.com. So if you're near a Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff. And if you're close to a Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie batter puff and churro puff. You can thank me later. Don't today. Do it today. Visit Built.com or your local Walmart or Sam's Club. Built products, you have got to try them. Patriots fans, thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and a special shout out to all of you everydayers out there, each one of you that take time out of your busy schedules to listen to Locked On Patriots. I always appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, because after all, the Locked On Podcast Network here is your team every day. And in that vein, folks, I also want to let you know about our new Locked On NFL Draft Buzz newsletter. You can find it at lockedonpodcast.com/newsletters. Sign up free right away. Each week, you're going to get a top story from NFL draft expert Luke Inman. You're going to get a top 5 ranking, and you're also going to get links to great draft content. That's the Locked On NFL Draft Buzz newsletter, lockedonpodcast.com/newsletters. Sign up for free today. Folks, as promised, we are taking a trip through time, and we could not in good conscience hop into the Belichickian DeLorean without any green wisdom and counsel. What kind of trip through time would it be if we didn't grab our good friend, the Count Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com. Murph, thank you so much for taking the ride through time with us today. Now, how was the ride in the Belichickian DeLorean, bud?
It's fantastic, man. It's amazing. I bring
ride.
1.21 gigawatts to every single show. And we all
without any question. The temporal displacement, not as bumpy as you'd expect with Murph in the car. When this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious. All right, well, it's a family show, folks. I'm going to leave it right there.
I'm just Einstein, okay? I'm the guinea pig. They put me in the driver's seat and got the remote control out. Let's go.
All right. Well, the flux capacitor is fluxing, folks.
There you go.
And the time circuits read 2022. We went back in time 1 year to the advent of the NFL draft in 2022. Well, actually a little bit less than a year because we're dealing post-draft here, Murph. We're talking about the 2022 NFL draft class. And I know we're looking ahead to 2023. We've been doing an awful lot of that here on Locked On Patriots with mock drafts and draft evaluations. And we just love this time of year. And we really got third year doing this, by the way, folks, and we absolutely love it. We'll keep it coming. But
that's it. Thank you, Mark Schofield, for allowing us to do it.
Absolutely. And folks, if you want to thank Mark in person, he'll be joining me here next week for some great draft insights. You don't want to miss that. Stay locked in to Locked On Patriots.
Not Monday, right?
Thank you later. Absolutely. Yep. Oh no, he'll be here on Tuesday. Monday is our mock draft show, folks. You know.
I wouldn't mind getting benched for Mark. I got no issue with it.
Murph, the Patriots sent shockwaves through a lot of the NFL universe last year when they chose Cole Strange in the first round, traded down to get him. You and I had a pretty good grade on Cole, but neither one of us had a first-round grade on him. But Bill Belichick dances to the beat of his own drum, past, present, or future. He's there, and he's always going to do what he feels is best for the football team. When you look at this class, I know a lot of people focus in on Strange, but there are gems that were plucked from this class. I happen to like this class a lot. What are your thoughts when you look at this group as a whole? Who stands out to you?
Cole Strange right off the top of the bat. Again, we talked about him at length, possibly ad nauseum, with what he did postseason last year and leading up to the draft, and we both had him on our wish list for the New England Patriots. I didn't think that he was going to end up going that early. I had him going to the Patriots, I believe, in the fourth round. You people can go back and check on that at e2gsports.com and let me know if I'm wrong. But the way that the board was falling, it was then or never, because he wasn't going to get to them in the second round. I really don't think he was going to get to them in the second round. Two offensive tackles, three offensive tackles came off before him. All right. Kenyon Green, that was the first offensive guard to go off the board that year, and then Zion Johnson went right after. The writing was on the wall. All right. And that's when they went and they grabbed him and said, we probably don't want to do this, but we don't want to trade back any further and take a shot that he's going to be there. We know that he's not going to be there with our second pick. What Cole Strange was able to come in and do here last year was quite impressive. All right. He's a rookie, came from a small school, was stuck right in there to start the season. And nobody here is claiming that Cole was an all-pro or a Pro Bowl OG, but you can't expect that out of a rookie. You really can't, especially coming into the situation here. All right, he had no offensive line coach. Okay, he didn't. He was stuck into a mismatch and a hodgepodge of guys that were unhappy with their coaches, unhappy with their playing positions. A rookie, especially on the offensive line, depends on the guys next to him more than almost any other position on the field that isn't quarterback. And he just did not have the support. He did not have the direction. He did not have a solid foundation in teaching him how things should be done at the NFL level last year. You can put some of that, you can put most of that on Bill Belichick because he's the one that put together the coaching staff. But the attitude of a lot of the other guys on this line didn't help in the situation. I give him a B for what he did this year. It's not an A, it's not a B plus. It's a solid B though for what he did last year, and a solid B for the pick.
Yeah, without question. I mean, look, you can make the argument that Cole may not have silenced all of his critics.
No.
The Patriots came under a lot of fire for drafting him as early as they did last year.
Yep.
I happen to not have a problem with it because I think the Patriots zeroed in on a player they felt fit their system extremely well, and I think you're going to see that this year. And the reason why is for the reason you mentioned. No offensive line coach last year, no additional help. He's got that this year in Adrian Clem. I think he can really make strides in helping him to reach his potential. He's durable. He started every game last year. I think he got better and better as the season progressed. Were there rookie mistakes and growing pains? Absolutely. But I also think there was a lot to love. Yeah, absolutely.
He hit the wall. Everybody hits the wall. And when you're doing it as an offensive lineman, that wall is big. Okay. It is solid. All right. You were out there pounding your body on every single down. We're not just talking about trying to get out into space or get a little separation here. Your body is taking a beating on every single snap. And anybody who doesn't think so can come line up against my 55-year-old self and we'll do it for a half hour and we'll see how we both feel afterwards.
Yeah, trust me, folks, you do not want to do that. That's a matchup you're not going to win. Before we get to a pair of defensive rookies that just happen to share the same last name, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't throw Bailey Zappe into this gem mix. I know you and I have been very vocal about the fact that we still believe this is Mac Jones's team. I don't think that either of us have wavered in that. I talked extensively on yesterday's episode of Locked On Patriots about why I believe that Mac is still in the driver's seat. But if you're going to look at this purely from drafting a backup quarterback that can give you spot starts, can even give you multiple spot starts if your starter is injured, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better situation for the New England Patriots than Bailey Zappe right now. Steer the Patriots to comfortable victories. I've been critical of the fact that these were not very good defenses that they were facing, but let's face it, folks, they're NFL defenses. These are NFL players. So for Bailey to come in and do what he did, still pretty impressive. And, you know, ultimately, you have to give him kudos and credit for that. I do think the Patriots got a good one here, and especially value in fourth round.
Yeah, especially in the fourth round. When he was drafted and the day afterwards when I went in and really got into some film, because I'll admit I did not watch film of Bailey Zappe coming into last year's draft.
I watched very little, I'll be honest.
What I saw and what I said last year when we did our post-draft show is we got Don Strock. The Patriots have Don Strock. For those of you that are under the age of maybe 45 and don't remember, Don Strock was a backup quarterback in the NFL for the Miami Dolphins for 103 years. Okay, he was a guy that could come in and take over in the first quarter, the third quarter, the at halftime. He could run your offense and keep you in games, and he could win you games when your starter went down. And unfortunately, Don Strock was stuck behind two of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played this game, and he didn't get a chance. But he stayed in Miami and he did it. And this is the person that I think Bailey Zappe is. Now, another reason why I like this pick is because there are people out there who think that Bailey Zappe should be running this offense. They don't even think the Patriots should go out and find another quarterback in this year's draft, even though they're picking 14th, and there's going to be a quality guy sitting there. They're not saying to go do that. These people are saying, no, we want Bailey Zappe. Go trade Mac Jones and give us Bailey Zappe. Well, one, that's ridiculous, but two, that doesn't make this a bad pick. I thought this was a fantastic pick, at least a C+. The only reason why I give it that is because there were other areas of need that probably could have been addressed at that point in time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I grade Bailey a little bit higher. I have him as a B plus simply because I just think the value that he brings, especially at the backup quarterback position, knowing that Mac had his injury issues last year and some struggles on the field, that it's good to be able to have that arm that you know you can go to, and that is battle tested, and someone that can go in there and make starts for you. That's not a typical rookie or a second year
Yep.
guy that really hasn't had any NFL experience, with the exception of in garbage time. This guy's played, and he'll be able to do it if he needs to. But again, and I think it is a valid argument for you to say that the Patriots had other needs that could have been addressed. That may be one of the things that works against this pick. But
Yeah,
ultimately,
I wanted Tyreek Woolen there.
yeah,
I
I know.
and,
And we did talk a lot about him last year. I do remember that. Of course, we are in 2022.
I was kind of ticked when he came off the board, like right after Bailey, about 5 or 8 picks afterwards. I was like, son of a bitch. But no, I like Bailey, and I like your evaluation there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, folks, we can definitely go back and take a look at what we said last year, because after all, we are in 2022, Murph. You just have to be careful not to run into your other self. Could cause a paradox. But in any case, that's a bad Christopher Lloyd impression, folks. I'm sorry about that.
That was so bad.
That is terrible. You know what? That is so bad. That's I'm feeling better, but I'm not feeling better enough to realize when you've made a bad decision. So yeah, mea culpa on that one, folks. That is not one of my better voices. You want to do Don
Corleone today? Go right ahead, but you just stay away from Pop
my impressions are done. They're absolutely done. So in any case, folks, how are we going to talk about gems without talking about a pair of Joneses? Not that Jones, the other Jones, right, Murph? Let's talk about the other Jones first, because I'm going to take a little bit of a victory lap on Marcus Jones in just a moment. But
go ahead.
I think Jack actually flashed some maybe Pro Bowl caliber down the line. Or I'm going to let you go ahead and talk glowingly about Jack Jones, because you had this kid very much pegged as well, and there is a lot of potential there. Save for what happened at the end of the season, I think there's a lot to like.
I did right off the bat. I love Jack Jones. I love the pick. I danced up and down the living room that night. I was just thrilled to death, because here we had a kid that had some trouble in college. We called him the Panda Express, leading up to the draft. You guys can go look that up. I'm not your intern. But what Jack flashed at the beginning of the year was exactly what I thought we were going to get. What I wanted here was the small, gutsy, go for it all playmaker of a cornerback that this team desperately needed at the time. There wasn't anybody there in the first round, as in a shutdown corner that the Patriots could have taken. What they did was they bided their time, and they grabbed a pair of Joneses that, you just can't argue are two of the highlight picks. We'll get to it at the end of this, but these two guys were two of the better picks that Bill, who can't draft, came in. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Bill turned the board over to something. No, he didn't. He didn't turn the board over to anybody. These two picks were just fantastic, and they played well above expectation, when realizing that certain other people, when Butler decided to retire, when it just wasn't happening for him, it was a beautiful thing. They're fantastic picks. What he's going to do here, well, everything will get shooken off what happened at the end of the year, and they'll come back. Jack Jones is going to come back even stronger, and basically say, who you got on the other side.
Yeah, without any question. And who they have on the other side, I think, is still a matter of conjecture, folks. You're probably looking at Jonathan Jones, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I would say you're probably right on that. But who knows? New England may be in the market for a cornerback in this draft. There's a lot to think about, but there's also a lot to remember in Jack Jones's prowess. Yeah. And I think people forget that sometimes, that this kid is very much capable, with a full year of off-season training, a full year of experience under his belt.
One more year of maturity, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay? And that's because a big part of this as well. That had to come. Things came really easy for Jack right through camp. As soon as camp, he was out there making plays and making, grown-ass men look silly. And then it continued through the first month and a half of the season. And, that kind of attitude as a rookie doesn't really fly.
No, it
So
doesn't.
maybe he got a little time out there, and we'll see. But like I said, another year of maturity, and that's gonna be. But please, by all means, go in on your Jones.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to take credit for Marcus because I didn't scout him to the Patriots or anything of that nature. I did mention that I thought the Patriots would be in on this kid
Right.
prior to the draft, and I wasn't alone in that regard, folks. There are a lot of other of my colleagues in the media that joined me in that opinion, but I did say before the draft or shortly after it that I believe that if the Patriots did take him, and once they did, that he would be my favorite Patriots pick in this draft. And he's proven me right. Marcus Jones, to me, is still the guy that I'm going to look at in this draft. And I believe when we look back on this draft, he's going to be the gem of it. And it's not just the versatility that he brings to the table, folks, because it's exciting to be able to know that this kid has the speed, the savvy, the ability to recognize routes and be an offensive weapon. He can be a weapon on defense. He can be an excellent slot corner and has the ability to play bigger than his frame.
Right.
Tremendous in the return game without any question about it. This guy can do it all on offense, defense, and on special teams. But the thing that I love most about Marcus is the maturity that you see, the ability to play, a wisdom beyond his years in not only knowing the field, but also knowing where his teammates have to be. These are the moments where you see prototypical Patriots take that step forward. Guys like Devin McCourty, guys like Dante Hightower, lifers that have been in the Patriots system that were drafted here that come up through the ranks and just get it right off the bat. You saw that in Marcus, and you see a desire for him to just do whatever he needs to do on the field. And he wants to play on defense.
And he loves it.
He does.
He just loves it. This is where he wants to be. He wants to be out there hitting people. He wants to be out there making plays on that side of the ball. If you ask him to run into the slot and go do something, he'll be happy to do it. He just doesn't want to do it as a full-time job.
Right, exactly. And he doesn't, I don't think will have to. I think he will be your primary option out of the slot this year. I think that's the way the Patriots are trending. And if they do, I can't argue with that. He will definitely be your return man, all pro team doing that. So, Marcus,
when Mike
right
says
now,
out of the weapon out of the slot, he means on the defensive side, folks. He didn't mean the slot wide receiver.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see him align in that. I do think Bill O'Brien will keep that trickery under his hat. He's not quite as fond as some of the trickery that you'd expect to see under Josh McDaniels or maybe Matt Patricia trying to inject some life into the offense last year when we saw it against the Bills. But I do think you will see Marcus Jones line up in that. So tip of the cap, nod of the gods to a lot of the great athletes we saw take the field for New England last year. But you and I both know that we have our favorites, but we're not done with our journey through the past just yet, folks. My Doc Brown impression is absolutely done. It's buried. It's not coming back, but we will be back in just a moment because there are still Pats with things to prove in 2023. And Murph and I will let you know who's on our list of prove it or lose it when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. Patriots fans, thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots your first listen of the day. Remember, tomorrow here on the pod, we're going to be taking a look at prototypical Patriots as it relates to the 2023 NFL Draft. So after our little trip into the past, we're going to be moving forward into the future. And I'm going to be joined by a very special guest here who, like our guest today, has a PhD in draft dealings. Intense scientific research done by tomorrow's guest. Folks, if you're thinking scientist, you're thinking laboratory, think Dr. Ian Malcolm a little bit more than Dr. Emmett Brown. I don't know, Murph. I might have just given it away. But in any case, tune in tomorrow to find out who our guest is. Don't forget to download, subscribe to, follow Locked On Patriots wherever you consume podcasts. We are a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And
definitely not Dr. Moreau.
No Dr. Moreau, no island over here. That's it. Murph, the time circuits still say 2022 here on our Belichickian DeLorean. So we're still throwing it back to last year's draft class. We've talked about our favorites from last season's rookies, but there are still some that have something to prove in a Patriots uniform in the upcoming season. I'll start with you, my friend. When you look at this draft class from top to bottom, might be someone we've mentioned, might not be. Who are you looking at to make that jump in 2023?
Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this poor kid got he ended up trying to prove that he was more than he wasn't and putting his body in the way, and he ended up getting hurt and set back. And it was
Good
really
point.
difficult for him once again not to keep beating the same dead horse here. Um, with the offensive minds that he had to lean on last year uh, to get back into the rotation on a serious level. When he was out there, I thought he played really well. I thought he was open a lot more than he was hit or used. You can
Hmm.
go back and look at the tape and see why is Mac going here when Taekwon is open over there. Quite honestly, because Mac didn't have the time to get back there, and Taekwon wasn't open early in that route. And so a full year in the weight room, a full year. Um, uh, of maturity, a full year of knowing how things are expected to be done around here is only going to help him. But I expect a serious uptick from Tyquan Thornton. I've been beating the drum and beating the drum that the Patriots do not have to take a wide receiver at 14. Okay, and some of the reasons that that they don't need to go and trade for a number one wide receiver,
Hmm.
because I don't want this kid blocked up. I don't. I want him on the field. This is how you get better, and I think he's going to earn it. But that's the man that I think needs to take the step next year.
Yeah,
This
I
year.
talked about Taekwon a lot yesterday on the pod and talking about his work with Mac Jones and with Bailey Zappe, especially the informal throwing sessions early
Yep.
on. It's great to see that buy-in from the rookie. He definitely is serious about making sure that he puts in the work to do what needs to be done on the field. And you got to give him a little bit of a pass. Obviously, the broken collarbone, to have him miss the first part of the season certainly set him back. You can do all of the drills, you can do all of the training
Right.
camps, preseason games that you want. Practical training, on the job training in the
Yep.
regular season is a whole different animal. And Taekwon didn't have that last year. So hopefully that will change and he'll get a lot more time on the field. But the other thing that I like about Taekwon and what makes me believe that this kid has the stuff to move forward. Go back a little bit further. We're still in 2022 here, Murph. Maybe we'll hop in the Belichickian time machine and go to this game before we head back to the future.
Yep.
Week 6 against the Cleveland Browns last year. Receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown. First Patriots wide receiver since Deion Branch to do that, to
Right.
score both in the same game.
Grateful.
So you look at that, you look at what he's able to do. That's versatility. The speed is unquestionably there.
Unquestioned. Yeah.
We've seen him on the practice fields in Gillette. I mean, this
The
kid can
second and
glide on the
third
field.
gear is just unbelievable.
It really is.
Unbelievable. You
Yeah,
you thought Jones was fast? This kid is fast.
yeah,
This kid
he
is
really
really,
is.
really fast.
Yeah, like lightning in a bottle
Yep.
type fast. He's that good and that strong. So absolutely, we love it. And speaking of strong, Murph,
Yeah, there you
um,
go.
you want to talk about speed? This kid has it as well, and
Yeah.
I think Pierre Strong has the stuff to make a bigger leap than a lot of people are
Yep.
expecting. Everyone's thinking that maybe beyond Ramondre Stevenson and maybe James Robinson coming in, the Patriots still need a big time back, kind of waiting in the wings in order to
Yep.
be able to see if he can spell Ramondre if the wheels start to come off a little bit a couple of years down the line. Don't worry, folks. Neither of us believe that's going to happen, but you never know. You always have to be ready for contingency. I think the Patriots have that in Pierre Strong. I expect a lot more out of him this year. What say you, Murph? Because I know you were very impressed with this pick when they made it.
You could, I really was, and you couldn't get much less production from somebody that was taken in the fourth round unless you're Bill Belichick and
Mm,
you happen to play running back. It's forever in the back of anybody's mind whenever Bill drafts a running back that, oh, red
mm,
shirt, perfect red shirt guy. Everybody here has done it. James White did it. Everybody does it. And he came in. He only had 10 carries last year, but he averaged 10 yards a carry.
yeah,
he averaged
absolutely.
10.
Yeah.
He averaged 10 yards a carry. Okay. I forget what his long was on the year. It might have been like 40 yards or something like that. But the
Mm,
kid averaged 10 yards a carry. This is somebody that can catch the ball out of the backfield, do something with it. And I like your pick here. I'm expecting more out of him. And don't, be surprised if there's a surprise cut at on that last cut down day, and they go with Mr. Strong.
Yeah, if he can prove himself in training camp, I think the sky's the limit for this kid in terms of speed and in terms of on-field savvy. The only thing that worries me a little bit, and this is where a special teams coordinator comes in very handy. A lot of costly errors on special teams last year. Everybody remembers the roughing the kicker penalty, Thanksgiving night. That set up Minnesota's game-winning touchdown. So a lot of people have not forgiven Pierre for that, but he's a rookie, folks. Those mistakes are going to happen.
I was eating pie by then. I was having pie.
A pie? And that case, you also have to remember that, there wasn't a whole lot of continuity on special teams last year, and the Patriots really lacked, I think, presence in the coaching staff to be able to do it. Whatever you may think of Joe Judge, folks, he is phenomenal when it comes to special teams, and I think the Patriots are going to be a lot cleaner and a lot neater in that department in 2023. So, again, I have high hopes for Pierre Strong. I think you can add Kevin Harris into that mix as well. Not necessarily as high into that, but I think that, when you look at the backfield moves that New England has made in the offseason with just bringing in Robinson, letting Damian Harris walk off to a division rival, in this case, in the Buffalo Bills, it does show that I think they have a lot more confidence in Harris and in Strong to really step up and make those types of leaps that you need to make in year two as a Patriots running back. So those are the guys I think that have stuff to prove. Before we take our leave of this subject, Murph, and we hop back into the Belichickian DeLorean, head back to 2023, anybody in this draft class that we have not mentioned yet that you think deserves a shout out as a solid member of this 2022 draft
class? I really think that we hit on everybody, man. I'd love to bring up Sam Roberts, but we'll see what happens there. I loved his stuff coming out of college. We'll see if he takes another step. Look, folks, it's really hard after a season to go back in on this, and I might be stepping on myself, but this is one of the better draft classes that Bill has had. We could definitely go into which is the best draft class of all time, 2012, 2013, going all the way back to 2003, when they grabbed Ty Warren, Eugene Wilson, Bethel Johnson, Asante Samuel, and of the like, Dan Copen. But no, this draft 5 years from now, I think we're going to look back at it as one of the more solid drafts that the Patriots ever had. It's not 2016, but it's not 2017 or 18 either.
Yeah, good, very good point.
By a long shot.
Very, very good point. And again, I think that you hit the nail on the head. Sam Roberts, Jason Hines, Andrew Stuber, you can't really throw those guys in because there's not really a sample size in order to be able to either accept the pick or reject it. Yeah, exactly. And it's all about potential. One guy I did want to mention that I know some fans are probably going to mention in the comments, but want to remind you that we're talking draft class here, folks. We're not talking rookie class. There is a difference. Brendan Schooler definitely deserves a shout out for the rookie year that he had on special teams. I love this kid. I love his instincts. But we didn't mention him as part of this show today, folks, because
this is why your name's on.
He's an undrafted rookie. At that point, you want to talk rookie class. Yeah, Schooler is probably in our list of gems, but he wasn't mentioned here today because we're talking purely on the draft.
Fantastic pull. You can't leave Brendan Schooler out of a show like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there are, undrafted rookies that did make an impact on this team that I think could make a bigger impact in 2023 as well. DeMarcus Mitchell, Raleigh Webb, these guys still have the opportunity to be impact players, whether it's 2023 or beyond. So, Murph, this trip through time was it was a lot of fun, but the clock tower is about to hit midnight and we've got to get back in the DeLorean. The lightning's about to strike here. Enchantment Under the Sea dance is done and we're ready to head back. So what can I say, my friend? Thank you so much for taking this whole trip through time here on Locked On Patriots.
Always a pleasure.
Folks, I always say it, and I mean it every single time I say it. It is appointment listening, appointment reading every time Murph puts pen to paper or voice to microphone. Before I let you go, my friend, and take our leave for the week, please let everyone know where they can find you and what you have cooking over the weekend from the great pen, great voice of Thomas Murphy.
Well, you can sit there and follow me on the Bird app at tmurph207. Another nod to Mark Schofield there, and of course, I'll have some Red Sox stuff coming up this year. Another game choked away this afternoon. That's why we're taping this so late. Thank you for being patient, Michael, so I could watch that and get a few more gray hairs. Got a nice piece up over there at e2gsports.com right now on the IQ problem that there seems to be on the Red Sox roster right now. Just a lot of stupid, sloppy baseball. And so I get into that. Please go check that out. And I'll be back here Monday, and I'll pump one Patriots place on Monday.
Absolutely, folks. And please, as a reminder, send in your great mock drafts here to Locked On Patriots, because we will be going over those on Monday. And don't forget to check us out here on Friday as well, because, again, a very special guest coming in to take us from the Cretaceous period to the present period. Now I'm really giving away who's going to be our guest, folks. Those of you who are savvy enough will be able to pick up on that. And Murph, you never have to thank me for either going later or going earlier. Come on, we got a Belichickian time machine. We got all the time in the world, my friend. Folks,
Thanks.
Once again, thank you for all of the support that you provide to Locked On Patriots, and for allowing us to come into your homes, your lives each and every day on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. On behalf of my good friend, the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2G Sports, I'm Mike Debate. Folks, continue to stay safe, stay well, be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone.
Ted Karras, 6th round pick.